think of great Brazilian goals and you think of them scored by forwards or midfielders, but this was a right back.
Joseba. Good effort, oh, and a goal!
A gangly, spider-legged right back whose limbs didn't look as if they should be attached to his body. They had a life of their own. But suddenly he's galloped forward and it was a fantastic goal. To my dying day, I'll never know how Kubias does this. He scores a goal that looks physically impossible.
Kubilas, number 10, might well be the player to watch here. We shall see. Here he comes. Kubilas drives it in and it's a goal! Well, Kubilas, brilliant third goal for Peru.
Kubias has hit it with the outside of his right foot. Nobody could even imagine anybody thinking about that, let alone pulling it off so spectacularly.
He ran at such an angle, he thought he's going to have to hit this with the outside of his foot, which is something you didn't see that much at the time. And he hit it with such pace and bend with the outside of his right foot. And again, it was one of those moments where I think as a kid you go outside and you start practicing to try and kick this ball like he does. I mean, it's a great skill to have, and I was slightly surprised in the Bajcevic goal because it showed an unexpected flair and skill that I wasn't sort of looking for, and he turns inside left foot and right foot inside two defenders, and I think kills the ball with the inside of his left foot into the top corner.
What a good goal! What a marvellous goal from Wiesbeck! Picks that out of the net. We won't see a better goal than that in this World Cup.
The fantastic thing about the Jairzinho run, a great finish, great goal, but it's the build-up.
Jairzinho, Pele, comes down. Nice little touch off there from Pele. Jairzinho, and he's round Matosas. What will Matosas score here? He scores! Yes!
There's a little flick from Pele just in the centre circle, which sort of gets the whole thing moving, and it's a tiny, tiny touch, but the class of the mark of a genius, brilliant.
There were fast, athletic players back in 1970. And Jairzinho was one of them. He outruns the defence, almost outmuscles the last defender.
You go through this list of 50 goals, and there are many spectacular ones, but actually this one is undoubtedly one of the most eye-catching, just because the dip on the volley is staggering.
Beckham squeezing across here. Crouch is waiting there. So too is Lampard. Good defended by Tobias Linderoth. Joe Cole, why not? Swinging shot, brilliant! Oh, why not? Absolutely fantastic goal from Joe Cole.
We sort of probably talk about these sort of goals as if it should come from Brazilians, South Americans, but here was a good old English lad, Cockney, London lad, performing a great feat on the biggest stage.
The look on Joe's face as he scored that goal, you know, one of those memories that he will live with for the rest of his life.
It's just an outrageous place to shoot from. I mean, they've got 3 or 4 players rushing into the box waiting for a cross.
Nelinho. Oh, that's a good one!
You don't try that kind of shot unless you know you can score from there and everybody else in the team knows you can score from there. Your instincts tell you that it must have been deflected, but I've watched it a few times now and I can't see a deflection. I think that all the bend is Nelinho's bend. I don't think it touches anything between the outside of his little toe and the inside of the post. Bobby Charlton, left-footed or right-footed?
Couldn't tell whether he's left or right-footed. He could go either way, and it's a great skill to have.
I guess the answer is with the foot that he carries the ball from inside his own half at great pace, his left foot. But then that just makes the shot with the right foot all the more special, doesn't it?
He's taken the ball from his own half, he's taken it at pace.
Switched it from his left foot to his right foot, and he hit this wonderful right-footed thunderbolt.
It was a magnificent goal.
When you see him hit this ball, look at his technique. Both feet off the ground. Wonderful shot.
As impressive as the goal is, I was also impressed with the way that he jumps, goes down, bends his knees and stands up. And I'm looking at that thinking, God, that would certainly hurt your knees. But he was obviously not only a great player, but an outstanding athlete as well.
Bobby Charlton scored some magnificent goals in his time, but if you were to ask him, he would probably put that as his number one.
The stage was set. England against Argentina. Maradona, this phenomenal, squat, quick, elusive player. He took the ball in the centre of the field, and there was Peter Reid.
Number 16, is he? Starts to chase Maradona, and actually Reedy, for a chugger, was no slouch over the first few yards. But after about 3 paces, he kind of starts to wave him goodbye, and Peter satisfies himself with having one of the best views in the house and one of the best goals ever scored.
I remember speaking to Peter about it a few years ago and saying, you know, Pete, why didn't you just hack him down on the halfway line? I said, you had the chance. He said, I couldn't even get close enough to kick him. He said, that's how good he was.
I think, to be honest, now he looks back, he can also just feel a privilege to have been on the same pitch as possibly the world's greatest player, playing possibly his greatest ever game.
But we haven't been able to control the play in midfield the way that Maradona has been able to do. And he's hurting England again here. It's a brilliant run. It's one of the World Cup great goals.
The vision, the pace, the balance, but just the strength to hold off 5 or 6 tackles. And even when Terry Butcher comes in and slides in, most players would have collapsed underneath it. But Maradona had the wherewithal to keep his balance, pick his spot, and although Terry Butcher will tell you he probably got the last touch, it's not one that he's ever going to claim.
3 touches, and I don't know which is my favourite. Control, turn, finish. Can you think of anybody who could have scored that goal with that kind of style and panache? Anybody? I can't.
Long ball play towards Bergkamp. Bergkamp's come inside, and Bergkamp has scored a sublime goal, the sort of goal that only he can score.
Just remember the pass as much as anything. Bergkamp had peeled off, and De Boer to pick him out, inch perfectly from probably 50 or 60 yards, the control from Bergkamp, the balance to take it past the defender, and then just that little stab off the outside of his foot. He didn't panic, he didn't rush. It was like ice water sort of flowing through his veins, you know, despite the fact it was 90 degrees and it was this huge match against Argentina.
I think if you know the man, you understand the goal. He's one of those players who goes cool in what I call hot situations, and the way that he touched the ball, brought it inside the fella and knocked it in is genius, really.
It's a wonderful moment because it's a goal for Mexico in Mexico City in front of 120,000 people. Anybody who's watched football in Mexico will never forget it.
Negrete, and Negrete again, magnificent goal!
It was a great move.
As he plays a 1-2, the ball never touches the ground.
I think there are 5 touches there and the ball touches the ground once. It's just tip, tap, tap, tap. It's like a little training ground game that they're playing where the ball's not allowed to touch the ground until it touches the back of the net.
The scissor kick was perfection. You know, he's thrown himself up and you think, oh, he's diving for a penalty, but then suddenly he's swiveled and he's just spun the ball into the far corner across the goalkeeper.
Volley's actually hit with a lot of control. There's a lot talked about body position in analysis of volleying a ball, and I don't think you'll find any football textbook which says that the body position should be completely horizontal, as it is in that case. But somehow Negrete finds the kind of balance to be able to steer the ball exactly where he wants it to go.
Everything about that goal was South American. You know, everybody forgets that, you know, the Mexicans have got the touch, the equal of a Brazilian, of an Argentinian, and the vision to be able to do that was outstanding.
England schoolboy player, prolific scorer. Was he too young to put into the England team? He wasn't.
I was in the stadium that night, and Beckham passes him the ball, and you think, OK, hold it up. You know, we've been under a bit of pressure. Don't do anything silly. Let's just kill the game. Let's calm everything down.
Beckham now to Owen, and here's another Owen run. He's going to worry them again. It's a great run by Michael Owen, and he might finish it off. Oh, it's a wonderful goal! What an amazing moment in Michael Owen's young career.
He was so precocious at that time. You know, a teenager who didn't have any fear. He said, well, OK, I may be a kid, but I'm going to take you all by surprise. And suddenly, the fear was in the Argentinians' eyes. As he moved towards them, they were backing off, and you're thinking, OK, now just pass it. And you could see Paul Scholes appearing out of the corner of your eye, and you're thinking, give it to Scholesy, give it to Scholesy. And you can actually see Scholesy screaming for the ball. And Owen ignores him, absolutely ignores him, and lashes it in. And you think, hold on, that's one of ours doing that against the Argentinians. This really could be our night. This is sensational.
That was Michael Owen in 1998. He was, you know, fast as a blur to begin with, but just so wonderfully, naively confident. Nothing fazed him, nothing bothered him. He was on that stage and he felt that he belonged from the beginning, and so once he finished the run, smash it. Smash it.
The thing that you remember as much as anything is the ball forward to Didier Cisse. You know, suddenly the ball stabbed forward, and when you're watching it on television, you think, well, that's fairly aimless.
Latany. And Cisse is clear and onside and strikes a superb shot.
And he's taken the ball on his chest, and you think, great, wonderful control. Take another touch, slot it past the goalkeeper. No, not even a thought of taking another touch. It was an instant volley.